One thing that I've universally heard from everyone that's working in healthcare, they're dealing with multiple meetings at once. They're dealing with multiple tasks at once.
Why are healthcare networks being targeted by cyber attackers? An expert weighs in coming up. Well, as the province grapples with a cyber attack on the healthcare system, we're looking at why hackers specifically target healthcare networks. Lee Kim is the Director of Privacy and Security with the Healthcare Information and Management Systems Society, and she's joining us now from Pittsburgh. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with the why. Why is healthcare a target for cyber attacks?
We typically tend to be very much under-resourced as an industry, as a sector. Unfortunately, there are relatively small budgets that are used to fund our healthcare systems generally. And as a result, the dollars that we could spend in terms of upgrading our infrastructure and upgrading our security solutions, those dollars are fairly in short supply. As a result, we're somewhat limited in terms of what we can do. And I would also say that we also have a culture of wanting to help others. And so our sense of trust as well is very strong. So in terms of compromises by way of phishing or other cyber attacks, we may be somewhat more vulnerable than other sectors in terms of that level of trust outwardly as well.
And how does something like this work? You know, we've all heard about phishing scams designed to trick people into giving out their personal information, but how could something like phishing take down an entire healthcare network? Could someone just click a link or download an attachment to open the door for that kind of large-scale cyber attack?
From our industry research, we find that by and large, phishing tends to be a reason, but it can be sometimes it's a combination of, and this is just all hypothetical, right? Because we absolutely don't know. It could have been an employee or a contractor, or someone, let's say, on the inside that may innocently have clicked on a poison link or maybe opened up a malicious attachment, and maybe havoc may have occurred. Sometimes too, though, I'm not saying it's the case in this case because I absolutely don't know. I plead ignorance. But in terms of third parties and vendors that we trust, I mean, just like in our personal and professional lives, right? There's someone outside of our organization that we trust and they say, oh, it's so-and-so, okay. And so our guard is down. We've seen these phishers, these attackers, from time to time compromise third parties and send legitimate emails from those third parties to us. So I'd have to say that at times when we see, emails or communication from a trusted source, shall we say, even outside of our organization, our guard may be lowered. And as a result, it could be a compromise for the vendor to send that, real email from them to us. And of course, our email system may perhaps trust emails coming from that domain. And the employee, I mean, especially in COVID-19, the one thing that I've universally heard from everyone that's working in healthcare is that and other sectors, frankly, is that they're dealing with multiple meetings at once. They're dealing with multiple tasks at once, right? So their attention is truly divided. And does that open the door for phishing? Possibly. Does that open the door to less discernment or critical thinking about what's going on? Possibly.
And I think some folks are also wondering, why us? We're a small province, just over 500,000 people living here. What do hackers look for when choosing a target?
It's fairly well known that smaller entities may sometimes have weaker controls in place. They may be less robust in terms of their infrastructure and how up-to-date things are. That's sometimes the case. I have to say, though, that it really depends. Organizations, regardless of size And regardless of what it may seem, I think that it's a real credit to the province that they are getting up and running within days as opposed to being compromised for weeks. I think that's a wonderful testament to their business continuity and disaster recovery plan. Not every organization or entity, public or private sector, is like that.
Lee Kim, thank you so much for sharing your expertise on this.
Thank you.